I'm assuming that you were doing it for free.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming everyone else was doing it for free also.
I'm pretty. I don't. But I'm pretty. I mean, you charging niggas home from jail.
Tony recently came clean in an interview, finally breaking down why 50 Cent had to cut off Big Meech and the whole BMF crew. According to him, it all came down to one ugly truth: money. Tony claims Meech flat out fumbled the entire BMF fortune, and his son didn't exactly make things better either. 50 Cent, fed up with all the mess, supposedly threatened to scrap the entire BMF project and walk away from the family for good. That decision sent shockwaves through the streets, leaving Meech and his son stuck with no safety net, no steady income, and only their own mistakes to point at. Now, the empire that once ran the game is dangling on the edge of a complete financial meltdown. So the real question is, what exactly did Tony expose, and just how deep does this downfall go? In a sit-down with Vlad TV, Tony Yayo spilled some wild details about Big Meech's money problems. On October 15th, 2024, right after his prison release, Tony said he pulled up to Meech's spot with a couple of friends. But what went down next? Nobody expected that twist. Meech started venting heavy to Tony, letting it all out. He was furious that Lil Meech wasn't giving him any financial help. The ugly truth spilled out. Big Meech is flat out broke and had been hoping his son would step up and save the day. But according to Yayo, Tony didn't offer sympathy. He straight up said, Meech has nobody to blame but himself. Yayo claimed Meech blew through all that BMF money instead of locking it down smart, and now he's stuck in the tough spot he created. That might explain why Boozy showed love by agreeing to perform for free at Meech's Welcome Home tour before the whole thing got canceled in embarrassing fashion.
BMF piece, my old BMF pieces I don't have no more. Elliot charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3-4 hours. My neck started hurting. The lock say Eliante on it, say his name, his signature. They got the 3 big boogers on each side. So ain't no regular Cuban, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3, just for the pendant. This some shit like, you gotta give my daddy, like when he come home, I gotta keep this forever, you can't even go no bigger than this, You don't see no silver or gold, you see straight.
And Yayo didn't sugarcoat it. He blasted Lil Meech too, saying Junior burns cash just like his pops. Even if he wanted to help, the money wouldn't last. Yayo gave a jaw-dropping example. Lil Meech reportedly dropped $100,000 on a single pair of Chrome Hearts jeans, and word is he's got about 10 pairs. That kind of spending, according to Yayo, screams reckless behavior. Instead of stacking bread, he's out here flaunting shiny outfits just to keep up an image. He could have been holding his family down, but instead Lil Meech stayed busy flexing. When he popped up on GQ's On The Rock series in 2023, fans were left speechless at the stacks of money he dropped on jewelry. The wildest piece? A $500,000 BMF chain, $500,000 on one chain, and Lil Meech wore it like a badge of honor. Even with the backlash, he brushed it off, acting proud of the splurge and insisting he was all about business. But here's the kicker. His money habits are a mirror of his father's mistakes, which is why his parents don't check him too hard. The problem? That cycle means things are only getting worse, and 50 Cent wasn't about to let it slide. He hit Lil Meech with a brutal reality check, tension spiking after 50 deleted a shady Instagram post where Lil Meech had clapped back over 50's digs at Big Meech.
$1,000 every night, 2-3 nights in a row, 3-4 nights in a row. Now you got a couple dudes in the corner watching that want to spend their couple $1 million with you. Right. You see what I'm saying? I got lavish homes, lavish spots all over this.
In the now deleted rant, Lil Meech let his feelings spill. You unfollowed me on Instagram and now you're working with that Skills infant Rocket. You didn't even know who he was until I introduced you and now you're mad at me. I would have given you the shirt off my back. I can't believe you're treating me like I'm your enemy. No matter what I've gone through, I've never turned on you. I've only ever shown loyalty and love. That's what Lil Meech told 50, pouring out his frustration. He later hinted that 50's cold response might have been sparked by Big Meech's recent link-up with Rick Ross, one of 50's longest rivals. Lil Meech brushed it off, saying it wasn't about loyalty, it was about money. Ross had allegedly slid Big Meech a little cash to help cover bills until next season of the BMF show kicked off. But Lil Meech admitted the internet drama was tearing him up inside. "You knew me personally," he said, sounding betrayed. Still, 50 being 50 had zero sympathy. His reply cut deep. He fired back, "What next season, little ninja?" Fans instantly clocked that as a warning. Was 50 about to recast Lil Meech in BMF, or worse, cancel the whole series? And then he twisted the knife even further by clowning their money struggles. 50 posted a link to a GoFundMe page on his Instagram with the shady caption, "Help Big." The fallout came quick. Big Meech's welcome home party got canceled, and whispers spread that the GoFundMe might actually be real. To make matters worse, Big Meech was reportedly blowing $30,000 a month on an Airbnb, only to later admit the property belonged to Coach P from Quality Control. Instead of saving face, it just made the whole situation look desperate and messy. Rumors keep flying. Some people swear this is all a setup, while others say it's the ugly truth. But Tony wasn't holding back during that convo. He revealed that 50 Cent actually pulled up to see Meech after his prison release. And at first, their relationship looked solid. That's why the fallout caught so many off guard.
BMF boss, the legend Big Meech, has a GoFundMe page.
What?
It was said that this GoFundMe page was set up to assist him in paying his bills since his Welcome Home concert got canceled. The funds from the Welcome Home concert was supposed to go towards his bills, and it was supposed to assist him in paying them off. Now,
and when it comes to the Rick Ross angle, Tony shut that theory down quick, saying the beef goes way deeper than just Ross sliding a few dollars. According to Tony, the real tension is about money. Today, Meech is flat broke, while 50 is raking in millions off the BMF series. The shift in power is eating Meech alive. He used to be the boss calling shots, but now it's 50 sitting at the top, pulling strings and stacking way more money than Meech ever touched in his glory days. And here's the twist. Tony exposed that 50 had actually looked out for Lil Meech while Big Meech was locked up. Behind the scenes, 50 personally paid for Lil Meech's acting school, setting him up for the very career that changed his life. That move showed how much faith 50 had in him, even when Lil Meech was still rough around the edges, still showing off his raw Detroit roots. Tony even reflected on the early days when Big Meech himself tried to rap but never really had the skills to break through. The irony? Now it's 50 building the legacy while Meech is struggling just to keep his head above water. Everything flipped once 50 Cent stepped into the picture. Not only did he help Lil Meech start stacking real money, but he also tried to keep him grounded, signing him up for acting classes and pushing him to take his career seriously. Lately, 50 has even been bragging about his mentor role on Instagram, and fans can't help but wonder who's really been the better father figure for Lil Meech. According to Tony, Big Meech wasn't comfortable with how close 50 and his son were getting, especially when 50 started pressing Lil Meech to stay away from drugs. 50 even opened up about his own struggles, telling him, "I used to do X," using his past as a warning. And when things spiraled out of control, 50 claimed he had to make the tough call to send Lil Meech to rehab. "Nobody knows I had to send Mimi to treatment," 50 admitted. He said he kept warning him to stop blowing through money, even breaking down exactly how much had already gone up in smoke.
Bozo, you got 19 years of being incarcerated. That 50 could have took that and converted that to about 5 seasons, and then turned around and then did the overall movie. He had a good 30 to 50 million he could have made. Now you standing next to a mother who couldn't even keep a concert going. Rick Ross is on the concert.
Second on the line.
In about 10 days, Ross is gonna throw him away. I'm gonna be real with you, Meech. If Rick Ross, seeing what he did to you, because he knew what he was doing standing on the side of him, right? He know Meech ain't thinking straight. If he don't throw you 3 wing stops, you ought to knock that down. What 50 gonna do? He finna burn that down. He gonna release that last season, and then he's gonna release the Tammy and discredit everything that people.
Tony revealed things were darker than fans realized. He heard from Ian that Lil Meech was stashing whippets in his truck, and on set, things allegedly got messy when actor Russell Hornsby threw up during a weapons scene while Lil Meech was rumored to be high. 50 later jumped online, reminding everyone just how much cash he had already made for the family, and made it clear he wasn't the one to blame for their financial meltdown. He even questioned why Big Meech never took the step to send his son to acting school in the first place. And to stir the pot further, 50 posted a clip of Lil Meech chilling with Rick Ross's son, Tory Roberts, fueling even more drama. 50 came swinging with another shot. "You came home thinking you're the Black Pablo Escobar, and now look where you're at." That line shook the room. Word on the street is, if BMF doesn't get axed completely, the next season might be the final curtain. 50 doubled down, reminding everyone, after I got shot, I still helped your family make over $5 million. Real, legit money. Don't you dare blame me for this mess. Fans jumped in agreeing with him, saying all this drama could have been avoided if Big Meech had just stayed loyal. One fan even clowned him directly. You're so desperate to shine. You're out here rocking the baby's jewelry like it's yours. And people definitely noticed. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Big Meech had a golden chance to make 30 to 40 million teaming up with 50 on BMF spinoffs and big movie deals. But instead, he chose to pose for a photo with Rick Ross, a move many believe shattered his partnership with 50 and lit the fuse for this messy fallout. At the center of it all sits one harsh truth. Big Meech is the architect of his own downfall. His reckless handling of the BMF fortune planted the seeds for every single problem blowing up today, and now the collapse is playing out for the world to see. Instead of stacking and managing the BMF empire's money wisely, Big Meech blew it all, leaving nothing saved for the future. And the worst part, he didn't just ruin his own prospects, he crushed his son's hopes for real security too. Lil Meech once believed his father could bounce back, but now that faith is slipping away fast, even 50 Cent, who practically carried the family on his back, couldn't stay silent anymore. He had the BMF brand pulling in over $5 million in legit income, personally covered Lil Meech's acting school, and even sent him to rehab when things went left. Yet despite all that, Big Meech still decided to cozy up with Rick Ross, 50's longtime rival.
And choosing to work with his son's boss's rival is prime example of how an unhealed parent can literally ruin your life. They will mess up relationships with your friends, with your significant other. You might even lose your job. Cause nobody can tell me that Big Meech working with Rick Ross, his son's boss's known rival, was not deliberate. Okay, that is a very conscious choice. And why might a parent do that, right? Maybe if they have some trauma, you know, a little bit of resentment and jealousy. Because sometimes with an unhealed parent, all of the reasons they should be proud of you are the same reasons why they're a little bit jealous of you, right? He should have came home and made his coming home about family. You know, passing the ranks to his son on TV, making millions, looking good, he acting, got a career. You shouldn't even be all on the phones, on Instagram, trying to do a car show with Rick Ross. It'll never be 2008 again. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't healed that. So now you trying to relive your 20s. So you're not seeing your son's accomplishments as this is my son's accomplishments. You're seeing it as like almost like competition. Like, oh, you trying to one-up me? Now the real Big Meech is home. So now let me show you how to get some money. Let me show you how to do it. I'm gonna go work with your boss's rival. You think Big Meech thought about how him working with Rick Ross would affect his son? Cause no, all I'm thinking about is some clout. Some temporary clout. Because let's be clear, that relationship with Rick Ross and Big Meech is not real. It's not genuine. If somebody is with you just to spite somebody else, that is not a genuine.
That one move may have torched the very last bridge he had left. Fans haven't forgotten either. Ross promised to perform at Big Meech's welcome home event, then ghosted, leaving everybody side-eyeing his loyalty. And now, in a wild twist, Rick Ross hopped on Instagram saying he's interested in directing a BMF movie himself. The nerve of that move left people buzzing. Was this his way of stepping into the empire that Meech and 50 already built, or is Ross just adding salt to the wound? Rick Ross throwing his hat in the ring for a BMF movie didn't sit right with fans, or with 50 Cent. People immediately called it out as a blatant power grab, with some saying Ross is trying to rewrite history and make himself the face of a story that was never his to tell. The timing couldn't be worse either, since Big Meech's ties to Ross are already being blamed for the total collapse of his partnership with 50. Insiders claim 50 was fuming when he caught wind of Ross's little director announcement. To him, it looked less like business and more like betrayal, especially after all the money, time, and energy he poured into keeping BMF alive and relevant, and fans were quick to back him up. One comment summed it up perfectly. Ross is clout chasing off a fallen empire, plain and simple. Meanwhile, Lil Meech is stuck in the middle of this mess, watching his dad's bad choices burn every lifeline they had left. With 50 pulling back, Ross circling for his shot, and fans turning skeptical, the future of BMF is hanging by a thread. What was once a legendary name in hip-hop is now a battlefield full of broken alliances, shady moves, and shattered trust. While some folks see Rick Ross circling as a possible lifeline for Meech, most fans are calling it straight opportunism. With the BMF series hanging by a thread and his bond with 50 Cent basically shattered, Meech's options are disappearing fast. Remember, he once had the golden chance to flip his story into $30 to $40 million through spin-offs and films, but he let it slip right through his fingers. Now the million-dollar question remains, can Big Meech really dig himself out of this financial grave? Or has he already written the final chapter of his empire by burning every bridge around him? If you're rocking with this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Has Meech still got a shot, or is it game over? And yo, we'll catch you on the next one, because this drama is far from done.